Well, this was Governor Blagojevich just yesterday in front of his home before taking a jog, saying that he would be talking very soon. And by all indications, after yesterday's hearing in Springfield, the inquiry to impeach the governor, it appeared that the governor and his attorney were hunkering down for a fight to keep his position. And here to talk with us now is Ed Gensen, lead attorney for Governor Blagojevich. Ed, thanks for making time for us here. Yesterday, you called this proceeding a fairy tale. What's going on with the case against your client?
Well, the case is a fairy tale. The process is a witch hunt. The fact of the matter is, I don't know that Illinois is doing itself any credit. In the light of the scandal and in the light of the problems that the image of the state of Illinois is having, it seems to me that to put together a process which deprives the governor of any sort of rights whatsoever does not do Illinois proud.
And you said yesterday, Ed, that you'd like some of these lawmakers who are in this hearing, who are judging, if you will, even though this is not a criminal proceeding, but they are certainly looking at impeaching the governor there. You say some of these people are compromised, that they should not be participating in the process. Why not?
Because a good majority of this panel has gotten up since the panel has started and made speeches against the governor. That's not what you call due process. That's not what you call a neutral forum.
Well, Ed, let's go back to
they don't belong on this panel.
Let me go back to the press conference that was held by Patrick Fitzgerald. It was one that was mesmerizing, to say the least. They made very strong case, at least before the public, at a news conference against your client, saying that they had him on countless tapes, countless conversations of him trying to sell or trade the Senate seat to be vacated by Barack Obama. From what you've been able to see against the evidence, if you will, or any indications of the evidence against your client, why are you so confident that you're going to be able to beat whatever indictment comes down here?
The tapes have been withheld. We haven't seen them. We see snippets that were chosen by law enforcement officials. We saw a dog and pony show looking at those snippets, which we believe was inappropriate. But in any event, the fact of the matter is, given what they did, and we assume what they took out of those tapes were their best shots, nobody did anything. And that's really the sum and substance of it. In order to violate the law, you have to do something besides talk. And that's all that we heard on those tapes are snippets from thousands of hours worth of tape where people talk. But the bottom line is, nobody did anything. Nobody took any money. Nobody asked for any money. Nobody got any advantage.
So you're saying the case against him is weak?
I'm saying that the case that has been set out against him so far is weak. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what else is out there. I don't think anything else is, but I'm not going to comment on what I don't know. And
right.
What I do know is this is much to do about nothing.
Well, you know, it's interesting how Chicago works, and you have a lot of people who are connected. You yourself represented R&B star R. Kelly at a time when people thought he was certainly going to jail. There were people who said this is him on this tape, and you certainly went in and convinced the jury otherwise. There are people who say you've been brought in because you're the guy who can win when all of the odds are against you. With your client, the pressure is on. The hammer is above his head. You've got other Democrats calling for him to step down. What is he telling you behind the scenes here? Because he's certainly not talking to the media, and I know he's a guy who likes to talk.
He's telling me that he's not guilty. He's telling me that he wants to fight. And that's what I'm here doing.
How do you fight?
You fight by answering questions. You fight by telling the truth. You fight by taking on and combating the prejudices that are out there. You fight by telling the truth.
Let me ask you, Ed, and I know, again, you're an attorney, you're representing a client, and there's so far that you can go here, but you say that nothing happened. There may be talk on a phone conversation, but nothing happened. Can you tell us if the governor has said that he asked for anything in exchange for the vacated seat of Barack Obama? Did he ask for money? Did he ask for a job for him or his wife?
He asked for nothing. He talked to people. He talked to people on his inner circle. He didn't ask anyone for anything. And I think the tapes are clear as to that point.
And let me ask you also about the ongoing investigation that was already in place. He's been under investigation even before this most recent term. He's been under investigation. And a lot of people are wondering here, again, if he's delusional, knowing that it was possible that his phones could have been tapped, why even, if these tapes are real and what they're saying in the prosecution is true, why even leave the door open for there to be a misunderstanding if that's what it is? If you're on the phone talking, no acting, but talking, why even open the door for something like that? And you know you're under investigation.
I'm not a psychologist. I don't know why people do things. I know, again, my job is to determine whether, in fact, that what he did or whether what he did was a violation of the law. It wasn't. And that's basically our position. That's what I'm telling this panel. That's what I'm going to tell people in a courtroom. So
in this hearing today, you have at least what some people would consider one notch in your favor, and that the state Supreme Court has denied the request by the Attorney General Lisa Madigan to pull Rod Blagojevich out of office. What is the challenge here at this hearing? Because again, this is a process that's unprecedented for the state of Illinois. You really handled it almost like a court hearing yesterday. The representatives there saying, listen, this is not a hearing, this is a different procedure. How do you fight this again specifically?
Well, I did what I do. I mean, I'm a lawyer. I work in courtrooms. I did the best I could. The fact of the matter is they have absolutely no concept what they're doing. Again, this is a procedure that no one's ever seen before, so everybody's sort of taking it on the fly. And sometimes I act like it's a courtroom, and a good deal of the time they act like it's a speech machine. So I don't know. I think we're both even.
But let me ask you also, Tony Rezko, another big player in Chicago. Right now, his sentencing has been postponed. There are those who say Rezko's sentencing is postponed so that the prosecution can get him to tell what, if anything, he knows about Blagojevich. There's another state employee who has pled guilty. Again, the perception is that he will soon be working with the prosecution as well.
I don't worry about things like that. I take those things as they come. I don't have any comment or feeling about whether Mr. Rezko was cooperating or not. I have no comment or feeling as to whether this unnamed employee is cooperating or not. I take it 1 minute at a time, 1 day at a time, one month at a time. I'll confront these things if and when they come.
And what about the First Lady of Illinois, Patty Blagojevich? You're representing Governor Blagojevich. So far, she's not been charged or named.
I don't represent Patty Blagojevich.
I know you don't, but
I don't represent her.
Is there anything you could tell us about her role in this? You don't represent her, but you represent Rod Blagojevich, her husband. And there are some implications that she might be. Okay. And let me then go to...
Let her lawyer deal with it.
Okay, and let me then ask you about the governor, the possibility that he could go ahead and try to name someone to the Senate seat. You're his criminal attorney, again, not his psychiatrist. But what has he told you about continuing to move forward with business as usual? And that would be appointing somebody. That's the business as usual for his position.
My understanding is he's not going to appoint anyone to the seat.
All right, Ed. Well, I appreciate you talking to us. I know you have a lot, and there are probably 3,000 questions to ask here about your client that so many people want to know. But I thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. Thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure to give you the first interview. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.